Well, good morning, everybody. We are here on the Isle of Tahiti at the Intercontinental Tahiti Resort. Behind me is Mo'orea, and this will be our first full day in the islands after that long journey yesterday. Today, we're going to go into the market in Papeete and go visit a waterfall. Also, visit the lighthouse at Venus Point. So stay tuned, see what we find.
We're going to start this day with a wonderful buffet breakfast at La Tierre before venturing into Papeete to visit Le Marché. It's worth repeating that days start early here, and the islands and our people are attuned to the approximately 12 hours of daylight. With the market in Papeete already open at 6 and rush hour has already begun, as we can see on our iMaps. Mornings here are absolutely gorgeous, though. I see why everybody gets up. Morning rush hour broke about 7:30 a.m. just as we were finishing up breakfast, so it was only a quick 15 minutes to a parking lot next to the McDonald's, which is only a few blocks from the covered market. While there are several parking garages around the market, our concierge at the hotel recommended the 2 lots next to the McDonald's just for ease of in and out. Make sure you take about 400 francs in coins with you for the machine, as there are no attendants and the machines are notoriously finicky with ATM and credit cards. The market here opens early, around 5:30 to 6 a.m. for the produce and fish markets, and vendors close down by 4 or so, although some shops may stay open a little later with a big cruise ship in town. Saturdays are early close, around 1, and Sundays the market closes down around 10 a.m. for any open stalls. Now, there are many types of vendors here. Along the sidewalks outside the market are small craftspeople selling mostly handmade jewelry that's very reasonably priced. Inside, half of the covered first floor space is dedicated to produce, fish, and meats, and a few bread vendors. Mid-scale crafts and wares are also on the first floor, but for more serious and pricey items, you can head upstairs and visit some of the jewelers specializing in a more high-end Tahitian pearl. And we even found a tattoo studio up there. But we opted instead for a cappuccino at Cafe Maeva instead of the ink this morning. Wonder where Donna Doobie is at. Danny Doobie and I kept our purchases to a mini crate of bananas, for about 400 francs, or a little less than $4. These small bananas in the market are the perfect mix of tart and sweet, and even if they are very yellow, they are not mushy. Perfect car snack. So we had tried to find a parking spot the night before in what becomes pitch black Papeete with no luck last night finding a spot. So while Grandma and Donna finished their shopping, Danny Doobie and I took a walk along the waterfront to find the garage closest to where the food trucks would set up tonight. An interesting discovery along the way are the coral nurseries set up among the boat slips in the harbor. The crystal clear water was teeming with small fish. We also met wildlife of a more domestic kind. After about a 5-minute walk, we spotted the entrance to that garage. No real marking, half the lights burned out. Yeah, it's good to scout locations in the daylight. Back in the Peugeot and a couple of bananas short of the bunch, we make our way to the north and east out of Papeete. We found no lack of road work while on Tahiti, which probably explains the good quality of the main road. But we do love their solution of lane closures. About 30 minutes from Papeete, we turned down a well-marked, sure, let's call it a road, toward the 3 Cascades of Fa'arumai. We found that most tourist sites on the island, like this one, had local vendors. In this case, they had mango that we just couldn't resist. Also, all the sites we visited were free of charge, and most had restroom facilities. Now, it's just a very short and easy walk over a well-groomed trail and a nice little bridge to get to the falls of Vai'ete. The other 2 falls, it's a little bit longer walk when the trail is open. Fa'arumai waterfalls are steeped in a legend about a Tahitian princess who was forbidden to communicate with young men who, if they violated this tapu, faced death. As the story goes, while gathering medicinal herbs for her ailing mother, she met a young man, Evie. He turned out to be a wizard of the valley. When the princess's guards realized she was communicating with a young man, they chased the couple and were about to catch them when a waterfall appeared, hiding the young couple who have been hiding behind the water ever since. We didn't get a chance to look for them on this trip because the two waterfalls that conceal them cannot be accessed due to rock slides right now. We did, however, get to see the third waterfall, Vai'ete, which blocked the guards during the legendary chase. This waterfall is some 80 meters, 262 feet tall, and we could see the white-tailed tropic birds with their long white tail feathers soaring high amongst the forest floor. These birds that nest on rocky cliffs feed on flying fish and squid and give the place a very Jurassic feel. So as far as we could tell, there were two rules written in French. One was you're not supposed to cut the bamboo. And secondly says not to swim in the pool beneath the waterfall for safety reasons. Evidently people do that, but we didn't see anybody on this day doing it. There was a little bit of a crowd when we showed up, but within 5 minutes, the crowd had cleared and we really had the place to ourselves. As you roam Tahiti, you're going to find a couple of types of animals. One is, well, stray dogs, but they're not always stray dogs. There's not a lot of leash laws, and dogs are allowed to roam free in Tahiti. Tahiti is considered a rabies-free environment, so just take your signs from aggression from the animals, but most we ran into are super friendly. And the second animal you're going to encounter are chickens. Tahitians love to have the chickens around because they eat the nasty centipedes that might be creeping through the yard and into the house.
Not saying there's bugs, but there's bugs.
After a nice visit at the falls, we head back to the west on the north shore of Tahiti Nui to Point Venus and grabbed a table at Mama's Beach House. We are quickly learning that while in Tahiti the prices are high, they certainly don't skimp on portions. Between the three of us, 2 fish sandwiches and skewers of grilled chicken were more than enough for this crew. The meal was very good and hit the spot. Mama's is a place where it will help to have a few words of French to assist in ordering, but we stumbled through just fine before exploring Point Venus a bit more. The beautiful small lighthouse, commissioned in 1867, was designed by the father of Robert Louis Stevenson, Scottish engineer and designer Thomas Stevenson, and a plaque commemorates the famed writer's emotion at first seeing the first lighthouse of the South Pacific. Point Venus itself was named for the place where James Cook set up an observatory to view the transit of Venus in 1769 in order to calculate the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Just a few steps from the lighthouse is a magnificent black sand beach. The calm waters of Matavai Bay is favorite with tourists and locals, and the waters are loaded with fish. While the black sand is actually a soft, powdery consistency, unlike some of the coarse volcanic black sand beaches we have visited in other parts of the world. Beach shoes are, though, required because this dark sand absorbs a lot of heat. Also of note, for those of you who love to shop, there is a very nice small cultural center selling beautiful local crafts and carvings. Definitely worth a stop as you tour the island. Belly's full and heat building a bit, we opted to head back to the hotel for a little swimming. My personal goal for the afternoon was to swim out of the murky little harbor from yesterday and into the clearer water around the coral heads just off the overwater bungalows. Not all in the water were happy that I was there. Thank God I had the DJI on the really long snorkeling stick. Angry trigger fish aside, there were some nice small aquarium fish as I navigated the currents around the reef. A couple of dumb mistakes on my part, so here's
the Doobie snorkeling safety moment.
1. The currents really demanded flippers, so it was tough getting out to the clear water. And once out there, the wind and the currents were back toward the harbor, so I wasn't in any real danger, but I did run into mistake number 2. Swimming in French Polynesia barefoot versus with water shoes. On my way back, I found a nice, smooth area of white sand, so I thought. But then that's when some critter got me right between the toes. Well, at least it wasn't a stonefish, but my toes would be throbbing for the rest of the day. Yow! We interrupt this video for a brief demonstration of college-level skills.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, what a shot. Coming over.
In the meantime, the gang settled down at the sandy bottom pool when we spotted a strange black jumping wormy creature along with the crabs in the rocks.
That was terrifying! Let's go on a trip.
These are Marquesan Rockskippers. These are a type of blenny fish that spend a good deal of their lives in damp crevices and lava rock, leaping from spot to spot as the mood or food calls them. Some species, in fact, in some of the South Pacific islands have become almost wholly terrestrial. You know, and it's kind of just like that. Where did the day go? It's about time already for our happy hour refreshment as we turned our attention to the western skies. Tonight, the South Pacific had a particularly fiery treat for us. One of the things we were most looking forward to in Papeete was a dinner at the Vai'ete Roulottes. So we headed into town around 6:30 and found the parking lot by the cruise pier where the food truck set up.
Well, tonight wasn't the night to come for food trucks, I guess, because we've got 2.
Place
Vai'ete?
Vai'ete.
Okay.
And we're at the food trucks, and we're trying out some French crepes tonight.
Excellent.
Well, so not a huge selection night. However, we probably would have picked these 2 trucks even if more had shown up. So note to fellow travelers, I can't find anything about a schedule online for the food trucks, but at least on this Tuesday night there were 2. The process here is to place your order, then take a seat at one of the tables outside your selected roulotte. You settle up after you finish your meal. As far as we could tell, there's no alcohol served, but our little crepe shop had a selection of soft drinks and French ciders. Now we did split up with the meat and potatoes crowd on one side, and of course, the sophisticated European palate on the other.
It's a little soft cider. Now, what does she think of the soft cider? Let's see if Danielle likes it.
It's good.
Danielle likes the cider.
It's oddly enough soft. Like, it makes sense that they say that.
No, it's the dry citra.
There's a difference. The dry is more bitter, and the soft is sweeter.
Okay, that's it. Dry is bitter, and the soft is sweeter. That's it.
As with most food offerings on Tahiti, we did not go away hungry. And it's time to take a nice slow walk. Toes are still throbbing along the waterfront of Papeete. Another great, if not painful, day. Good night, all. We'll see you next time.